For this video, we are going to discuss Articles 143 and 144 of the Revised Penal Code. I am talking about the crime of act tending to prevent the meeting of the assembly and similar bodies, and the crime of disturbance of proceedings. Let's start with Article 143, which is the crime of act tending to prevent the meeting of the assembly and similar bodies. The penalty of prison correctional or a fine ranging from 40,000 pesos to 400,000 pesos or both shall be imposed upon any person who, by force or fraud, prevents the meeting of Congress or of any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commissions or committees or divisions thereof, or of any provincial board or city or municipal council or board. What are the elements of Article 143? First element, there is a projected or actual meeting of Congress or any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commissions or committees or subdivisions thereof, or of any provincial board or city or municipal council or board. Second element, the offender here, who may be any person, actually prevents such meeting by force or fraud. Now, the article mentions the word Congress. Congress here refers to both the Senate and the House of Representatives because our constitutional structure, our legislative body is bicameral, meaning it is composed of an upper house and a lower house. The upper house refers to the Senate and the lower house refers to the House of Representatives. The article also mentions the term constitutional commissions. Under Article 9, Section 1 of our Constitution, the constitutional commissions are the Civil Service Commission or CSC, Commission on Elections or COMELEC, and the Commission on Audit or COA. They are called such, no? They are called constitutional commissions because it is the Constitution itself that establishes these offices. And when you say provincial board or city or municipal council or board, under the Local Government Code of 1991, they refer to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Sangguniang Panglungsod, and the Sangguniang Bayan. Take note, however, that the Sangguniang Barangay, although it is considered as the legislative body of the barangay, the same is not covered within Article 143, meaning to say it is not part of the scope of Article 143. Let's focus on the phrase as found in the article, offender who may be any person prevents such meeting by force or fraud. So the offender here can be any person. And when I say any person, the offender can be a public officer or a private individual. The offender here can be of any gender, of any nationality, because the article itself uses the phrase any person. And what does this person do to come under Article 143? He prevents the holding of such meeting by force or fraud. And when you say prevents, to prevent means to keep something from happening or arising. Meaning to say the projected or actual meeting must be actually stopped. If there is no actual stoppage, meaning to say the offender merely attempts to stop the meeting, the offender will not be liable under Article 143, but Instead, he will be liable under Article 144, Disturbance of Proceedings. There is no crime of attempted or frustrated. No, what I mean to say is there is no attempted or frustrated stage of the offense or of the felony under Article 143, because as I have already emphasized, there must be an actual prevention, meaning to say the meeting must be actually stopped. The projected meeting must not push through, or the actual meeting, which is already ongoing, must be actually stopped by the public officer or the private individual or by any person for that matter. And how does this person prevent the projected or actual meeting? He prevents it by force or by fraud. By force here means by physical action or movement or through coercion or compulsion, especially with the use of threat or violence. On the other hand, by force means wrongful deception that will result in the stoppage of the projected or actual meeting. So, in either of these modes of preventing the holding of the meeting, either by force or by fraud, the offender here, who is any person, will be held liable under Article 143. Now, let's go to Article 144, Disturbance of Proceedings. The penalty of arresto mayor or a fine from 40,000 pesos to 200,000 pesos shall be imposed upon any person who disturbs the meetings of Congress or any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commissions or committees or divisions thereof, or of any provincial board or city or municipal council or board, or in the presence of any of such bodies, should behave in such a manner as to interrupt its proceedings or to impair the respect due it. What are the elements under this article? Its elements are: number one, there is an actual meeting of Congress or any of its committees or subcommittees, constitutional commissions or committees or subdivisions thereof, or of any provincial board or city or municipal council or board. Second element, the offender does any of the following acts. Either he disturbs any of such meetings, like for example, the offender attempts to prevent the holding of the actual meeting, or the offender behaves while in the presence of any of such bodies in such a way or in such a manner as to interrupt its proceedings or to impair the respect due it. Like for example, the offender here does something contemptuous, meaning he creates a disturbance by shouting, raising of commotions, or anything that will interrupt the progress of the meeting. Here, take note that in Article 144, there must be an actual meeting, not just a projected meeting. Otherwise, there is nothing to disturb or interrupt. How can you disturb or interrupt a meeting which has not yet started, right? So, unlike Article 143, Article 144 requires that there must be an ongoing meeting, and while the meeting is ongoing or has already started, the offender disturbs or interrupts the same. Now, To disturb or to interrupt means to interfere with the normal arrangement or functioning of the meeting. And I may go further, no? There must be what? A physical disturbance or physical interruption that interferes with the functioning of the meeting. Now, please remember that the act of the offender in disturbing or interrupting the meeting may also make him liable for contempt, because Congress has the power to punish for contempt any person who disturbs its proceedings. This same act of disturbance by the offender can also be made the basis for both contempt and the institution of criminal proceedings for violation under Article 144. So, not only will the offender be held in contempt by Congress, he will also be, or he can also be charged under Article 144. And same goes with Article 143. Congress also has the power to charge for contempt any person or a person who prevents the holding of a projected or actual meeting of Congress or of the constitutional commissions or of the provincial or city or municipal council or board.